All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Picture this. It's 2011, and Netflix makes a strategic decision so completely disastrous it actually gets roasted on late-night TV and comes dangerously close to destroying their entire business. Today, we are unpacking the Qwikster fiasco, a monumental failure that somehow turned into a masterclass in corporate agility.
The panic following this decision was, well, it was literally unprecedented. Wall Street completely wrote them off. Their stock price cratered by almost 80% in just a few short months. Everyone was absolutely convinced this was the end of the road.
And the user base? Absolutely crushed. They lost 800,000 customers in a 3-month window. To put that into perspective, they had never lost subscribers before. A company that had done nothing but grow was suddenly hemorrhaging users.
Part 1. Origins of a Giant. To really get how they fell so hard, we gotta rewind to 1997. Founders Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph are literally sitting in traffic, brainstorming how to take down Blockbuster. The big idea? Renting movies by mail, zero late fees. But would a fragile little CD even survive the postal system? So they ran the ultimate stress test. They just mailed a single disc to Hastings' house in California, it showed up perfectly intact, and boom, Netflix was officially born.
From there, the ascent was incredibly methodical. First website in '98. By 1999, they rolled out that flat monthly subscription. Unlimited rentals, absolutely no late fees. They went public in 2002, shipping millions of those iconic red envelopes we all remember. But the real game changer, that hit in 2007, when they introduced streaming. Suddenly, no waiting for the mail, you could just press play.
Which brings us to part 2, the Qwikster disaster.
Behind the scenes, Hastings was absolutely convinced that the legacy DVD business and the new, futuristic streaming side were totally different animals and needed to be split. That philosophy tipped the first domino in the summer of 2011. Netflix completely shocked its loyal fan base by jacking up prices by up to 60% for anyone who wanted to keep both DVDs and streaming. Yeah, 60%. People were furious, but Netflix, they weren't done pushing their luck.
In September 2011, they dropped a massive bombshell. They announced they were spinning off the DVD service into an entirely separate brand called Qwikster. Think about it. Old Netflix was seamless, right? One website, one queue, one bill. The new Qwikster reality meant you had to juggle 2 different websites, manage 2 separate queues, and pay 2 distinct bills. Literally 0 new features, double the hassle, and it cost way more money.
The backlash was instant, and it was brutal. Not only did they bleed those 800,000 subscribers, but the brand became a total national punchline. Saturday Night Live was ruthlessly mocking the decision on air. And when your core business strategy is getting roasted on late-night TV, you are in deep, deep trouble. Honestly, it looked like the streaming pioneer was totally done for.
But then comes part 3, the fast reversal. This absolutely could have been their epitaph. But instead, it turned into this incredible masterclass in crisis management. Just 3 weeks, 3 weeks after introducing Qwikster to a totally outraged world, Reed Hastings made a humbling and frankly rare decision for a major CEO. He killed the project. He didn't try to PR spin it, didn't try to quietly phase it out, he just pulled the plug completely.
Hastings followed up with just total transparency. He publicly admitted, and I quote, "We moved too fast and failed to explain the changes." He owned the oversight 100%. And most importantly for all of us watching at home, he made sure DVD and streaming services stayed exactly where they belonged, together, under one unified Netflix account.
And that leads us to part 4, surviving your mistakes.
Netflix didn't just survive this whole ordeal. They learned exactly where the line was with their audience, and once they internalized that lesson, they started making incredibly bold moves. By 2013, they pivoted into a full-blown Hollywood studio, betting huge on original content with House of Cards. Then, fast forward to 2023. Under new co-CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters, they took another massive risk, cracking down on 100 million households sharing passwords. But this time, they nailed the execution. They converted millions to paid subscribers almost overnight.
The contrast here is just staggering. We're talking about going from a devastating loss of 800,000 users in 2011 to absolute global dominance with over 325 million paying users today. Over that decade, they didn't just recover, they became the undisputed global platform, taking on legacy titans like Disney and Amazon and actually winning.
In fact, they've grown so extraordinarily powerful since the dark days of Qwikster that they're now reportedly pursuing a staggering $80 billion acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery. I mean, really let that sink in. The company that started by nervously mailing a single CD in California is now positioned to buy one of the most legendary entertainment conglomerates on Earth.
Ultimately, the Netflix story proves that building an empire isn't about having a flawless plan from day one. It's about resilience, it's about speed. So I want to leave you with this final thought. When you inevitably make your own biggest mistake, just how fast are you willing to pivot to survive?